Bonjour, motherfuckers! Stephen Johnson stocks, green month, green week, green month, very excited about that. How did I do it? 2 words, diet, Coke. What it lacks for in calories, it compensates with success. Since I've been drinking this shit, I have been dominating the stock market. No, of course, the real answer is I just started building the case more. Tim Bono says it. If I'm going long, I'm thinking, does the company have money? What's the news? Am I buying the consolidation? Am I dip buying? And how much is it already up already? Is it a former runner? And if all of the elements align, then I'll buy it. And in terms of shorting, is there an ATM? Is the warrants and the SEC filings? Does the company have no money? Does it have a history of having big red days? Is the chart looking terrible? Is the news weak? Is it up on weak news? And eventually you start developing an intuition. So that's what's changed for me. But massive, great lessons from this week. Great in-depth analysis. For me, I think it's the best I've done. So watch all the way through. I'll just jump into some comments quickly. David Bengoa. Hey Stephen, what do you think is the best Tim Sykes DVD? Fundamentals, stocking, penny stocking do. I think his best one is his free one. I think it's Trader Checklist. And it's really, like, Google Trader Checklist. It's on YouTube, it's free, it's on a website. And that's really solid. His second favorite one from him is probably How to Make Millions or Penny Stocking Framework. But honestly, I would watch Trading Tickers above them all, which is by Tim Grattani. And you'll not like me for saying that, but it's true. Let's go to Scott. I thought I'd seen it all, but how wrong was I? Love it, man. Yeah, that was in the other video, and it looked like I was replicating a scene out of The Exorcist, but I was just replicating what it feels like to be a bag holder overstaying your welcome in a stock. And we have School. You and I will meet one day, you rock dude. Thanks a lot. I like to hear that. I actually met a ton of you guys at the TI Summit. Had a good time meeting everyone, including the guy who has the beard, the trading yogi or whatever. I can't remember the name, but just great lessons. Let's get straight into it. We'll see you later. Very happy. First green month. Kind of proud of it. Don't let people say that winning percentage doesn't count. Track your winning percentages. I'm up from the 20% to the 30s, to the 40s, to the 50s, to the 60s, 64%, and then boom, you're in profit. Because you win in so many trades that you just need to let your winners run and cut your loss. Let your runners run more than your losers. And if you do that, you can't not win. Oh, there's Tim Sykes. I'll watch his video lesson. But yeah, I mean, I made 138 bucks, 64% winning average, and a lot of it has come from just tracking data and getting more confidence. So tracking the first time a stock gaps down when it's overextended, and thinking like, what was the total percentage of the parabolic? If 30, 40, 50%, and then how much did it spike at the open before it started gapping down? When it gapped down, how much did it gap down? How much did it gap down the next day? Did it spike the next day after it gapped down? And the same with the gapping crap, as when a stock gaps up 50%, on average, how much does it spike? How much does it gap down? How much does it gap down the next day? How much does it close down? What's the percentage drop from one close to another close? And I'm putting this data all in results, asking questions, charting graphs, how many stocks gapped down and ended up red by the close of the day, and you find out that 75% stayed red, that gap down, that were overextended. Sorry if this goes over your head. I just want to say that loads of people ask for this Excel. I can't give you it for free because I've put like hundreds of hours into it. I will sell it for 75 bucks. Send me the money by PayPal on the PayPal link in the description. Leave your email and I'll send you it that day. It's been huge in me becoming successful and having a green month, and hopefully another green month next month. And I just can't give it to a lot of people. So if a couple of people buy it for 75 bucks this month, I'm going to say I'll sell it for 100 bucks next month, and then 150 bucks the month after that, because I don't want too many people having my work, my strategy, my profit loss data. But I will give it to a couple of people, because I think giving it to a couple of people is not going to influence anything. But anyway, very strong on the short side. Not so strong on the long side. So the plan, like, this is a long, this is a short, this is a long, this is a long, this is a long, this is a short, this is a short, this is a short. Pretty much everything that I win on, I only lost one short the whole month, and that was INFI. I lost 10 bucks. And so say I was 10 shorts, lost one, 90% winning average. longs, my winning average was like 10%, 20%. Like I lost on every long. But the problem is I'm not applying the same discipline and the same technique. What I need to do is the absolute opposite of what I do short long, and I'm not doing that. So I'm going to be very small size trading long next month and upping my size short, and it should be another green month. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit us up if you want the spreadsheets and the data. It's been massive for me, and yeah, let's just hope. I mean, I made 100, 200, 140 bucks this month. So I just want to like double it. Like I'll be happy to make $300, $400, $500. $500 is my target. If I can make $500, that's what I'm going for. This was a little bit lucky, but sometimes when you put yourself in the right situations, or you get in the right stocks, I think is a better way of putting it, you do get lucky. And this was a long, which is, it's nice to show you guys a long because I'm a bit more short biased these days. Ultimately, ARDM, it's not the best company. It's had this horrible gap down. Its long year chart is pretty bad. But it had some news about a drug. And I'm pretty sure this is, let's have a look at the profile. Yeah, it's a drug manufacturer. I'm not sure if it's like a biotech or what, but it's not a good company, but it's uptrending because there's kind of news of a drug that might get approved, and I think people are buying on the expectation of this news coming out. So, I mean, long term it's not good, but short term, multi-month breakout, massive volume, and this is what made us really interesting because I've learned from Roland when it doesn't kind of matter what the long-term chart is when you're long. If it's got massive volume and it's going and it's spiking big, it's more about just playing the intraday pattern. And that's what I was trying to do. And I've been with Trade Zero and I'm using the mobile app and I'm still coming to terms with it. So I short with IB and my account's up and I'm long with Trade Zero. And I mean, everyone was anticipating day 2 with this stock. And if we just zoom in, so it had its first green day, this was its second green day. And it was choppy, but we saw this big spike and it was making these higher lows. And I was like, okay, it spiked, it's consolidating. When I see these wicks getting higher, I was thinking, right, I'm gonna get in from 284. I put an order in and it was keep on pushing, so I put my order in for 290. And I was thinking, I'll get in 280, I'll be out like 310, take 20, 30 cents. Got up to the 320s. But my order didn't get executed with Trade Zero, so I was expected to get in the 290s and selling the 310s. It didn't get executed, and I forgot because I was in the airport traveling back from the conference, and then it started coming down, and I was like, "Fuck!" And then I was in the airport, so I was in and out with Wi-Fi. I was coming from Philadelphia to Florida, and I had to run for my flight, so I was just like, "Fuck it, I'll just leave it." And then when I finally checked in and I was on time and I wasn't going to miss my flight from Florida to Dubai. I looked at the stock and it was like consolidating in the 50s, and I was like, oh my god. But I thought, do you know what it is? And then I was just getting on my plane here, and I saw it spiking, and I was thinking it's 1 o'clock, it's starting to squeeze back up. I'll average down because there's a chance that it's holding and it'll squeeze into the close. Little did I know, I checked it on the plane and I was like, it was down again. I was like, fuck, but I couldn't use my app properly, so I just left it, and then I got a little bit lucky the next day. So I'd averaged down because I thought shorts would close and shorts would cover and it would squeeze up. And that's exactly what happened. Shorts did cover, but then the next day I was a bit lucky that we had FDA news that accepted the drug, which was the rumor. And it's kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news situation. Then I was in, the news hit, and then I had about a 245. No, I was like a 260s average because I was in the 90s and I was in the 47s and the 50s. So average was about the 270s, 275s. And then I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I was selling some at 335, sold some at 355. Then when it failed at the open, I sold the rest at like the 330s and took me biggest profit of the month. Would I do this trade again? Never. Did I get a bit lucky? Yes, but was there in the right stock at the right time? First green day, massive volume. Yes. So this is AVGR, and I was looking at this stock because it gapped massive. I mean, it was up from the 20 senses to the 60 senses. Like, it was up like 200% practically. And if we go back a couple of years, this company is a failed company. I dug into the SEC filings, they do actually make money. But ultimately, it's a failed company, and it's like when stocks gap up from the 20s to the 60s, when stocks gap up from 20 to 25, when they gap up 20%, 25%, 30%, I'm looking to short them. But for stock to gap up like 200%, I'm like, well, first of all, what the fuck is the news? And the news was, I don't even understand it. Avenger receives marketing approval for in-stent restenosis treatment indication with something, something, something. And I'm like, I don't know what this means, but it sounds like it's cutting edge by the quote. It sounds like it's helpful. I know the company makes money, so I have to be careful. I was like, I don't want to short this. It sounds, the company makes money. The news sounds pretty good, but it is up a lot. So I was just watching it out of the gate. So, because it's got a long way to fall, you've got to remember that. So I was watching it. I'll put one in 1 minute chart. And I was like, well, it's coming down pre-market. That's a weak sign. And then when it topped into this pre-market resistance, I was like, that's another weak sign. But I was thinking, well, look, it's got some support. I mean, it bottomed here. And this is what I was looking at, because it's more important to look at where the volume was. When it bottomed here, came back up, topped, and it came all the way back down, I was thinking, oh, this looks a little bit weak, but it was this bounce. This bounce right here was so weak. And I was thinking, really? It's got news, it's a profitable company, and it can only do bounce like this? It's just cracked support, and this is the reaction? This is the bounce? I was like, this is weak. So I immediately got in short here in the 54s. It cracked, and I thought, right, great, I'm in with house's money. On the next bounce, I shorted even more with the house's money. And then I just watched it come down, come down, come down, and fail down in the 39s. I covered some at around the 40s because I thought, oh, this is really cracked now. And I'll go on to say why I've covered more. And then it was coming back up, and like a bit of an amateur, I wasn't looking at my resistance levels properly. The actual top resistance here is 45, so I should have waited to see it crack 46, 47 before I covered the other half. But it was an amateur cover. I covered like 45, and then it slapped back, made a higher low, and then it's on its way back up. But this is the type of stock, I mean, you can hold it for a few days. I mean, look what happened. It's all the way down to the 30s now. But the reason why I was keen to cover some in the 40s is because when we look back on the 6-month chart, you can see there's all of this support around. It's kind of like support in the 45s, 47s. But I mean, there's real, like, you can see like where it bottoms. It's like bottoming and holding in the 41s. And that's where it bounced, so it's no coincidence. So this is CAPR. And I know Tim Bowen says he likes to build the case, and yeah, I need to find a cooler way of saying that, but I do a similar thing. So it's interesting. So on a 2-month chart, and this is a multi-month breakout, okay? And a lot of people think, oh, it's a breakout, I'm going to buy it. But I think, well, I want to have more of an edge. I want to be better than people. So where can I find that edge? And one of the ways that I find the edge is I'll think, well, let's look at the 6-month chart. Well, actually, this company's had really bad news because it's gapped down big here. So something bad's happened. And then maybe if we go back to the 1-year chart, you can see, well, actually, it's got an absolute ton of resistance here. I mean, look at the resistance here in the 280s, the 290s. It's not going to break through this, and especially not with volume this small. So it doesn't have much volume. It's got a lot of resistance in the 290s, and there's no news. Like, you check the news, there's no news. It's just breaking out on thin air. And then the next thing I think, well, okay, so there's resistance in the 280s. It could be a good short there. But let's look at the financials. Let's see if we can get a better edge from that. And I'll look at the latest 10Q. It's the 10Q from June, the quarterly statement. And I'll say, well, look, it's got total assets of 14 million, but its liabilities, it actually owes out like 20 million. But that's okay. I mean, it has got cash. It's got 8 million in cash. So that's kind of cool. It's got 8 million that it can spend straight away as of June 30th. But when we look at the business, it's actually losing 3.37 million every quarter. So if it's got 8 million, but it loses 3.3 million every quarter in 2 months, in the next 2 quarters, in the next 6 months, they're going to be struggling for money. So it's not a good company. They're losing money. It's got resistance in the 280s. And when you look at this intraday chart, it's spiked so fast on no and it's not consolidated at all. So it looks like it's going to hit the resistance and just come straight back down. And with that in mind, I was watching this thing. It was running up. It was kind of spiking here. I took a starter at around 274 short, and then it came down, and I was hoping it would push a little bit more into that 80s area. And it actually got up here into the, I shorted more at 284. I was 1 cent off the top, which was cool, which gave me an average of 280. So I was short some 274 and I was short the rest 284, hitting the top. And then after that, it's a failed breakout. Reality hits in with everyone. They're like, well, there's no reason for this company to be up. It's actually a shit company. Why is it spiking? And of course, everyone sells. And then once some people sell, the intelligent people sell, the rest panic and sell and sell and sell. And then it really cracked. And I covered some in the 250s. And then I covered some as it was starting to squeeze up a little bit here in the 260s-ish. I think I was out for about a 259 average, 260 average. So picked up like 20 cents on the trade. Thank you guys so much for watching, and for the guys who've been there since day one, I just want to say thank you too. Like, hat goes off. Really appreciate the ongoing support, and what I really want to do is just look at where I am now. So you're talking quarter of a million views on YouTube. First green month going 20, 30, 40, 50, 60% winning average, 70% winning average. Now I'm taking profits in the market. Steady Trade podcast, great feedback. It's on season 2, okay? But how did I get this? And it goes back to 16 months ago. Broke up with my girlfriend, and I was dead. Like, I was like I don't even want to say it, but I was like depressed. Like, I was watching YouTube videos of other people who were saying they were depressed, being like, ah, good, I don't feel so bad because they're like that too. And like, whenever you get like that, and I've never been like that before, you need to like dig yourself out. You need to like crawl out of the hole. And crawling out of the hole is not easy. Like I say in I'd buy Tim Sykes, I think I'll give it a go, but I'm gonna give it everything. And when I say everything, people don't realize. People are like, oh, I'm trying really hard, but I'm not just getting it. Like, I'm telling you, you are not trying hard enough, more than likely. Because the people who are successful at stocks, and for me to even just get one green month, to just have this 60 to 70% winning average, I have sacrificed friends. I have not so family as much as I should. I have thought about stocks day and night obsessively for 14, 15 months. It's all I do. Like, if I go on holiday, I'm wanting to watch lessons on the plane, DVDs on the plane. I want to be at the beach, but I'm thinking, should I take the laptop? Like, I've give up almost 50% of my entire life, like almost everything. And you have to as well if you want to get there. And you'll say, oh, I am giving up everything, but you need to give up more than that. You need to go even to another level that you've never been before. And in this level, you will find success through hundreds plus YouTube videos and the Steady Trade podcast, and now getting successful trading. It's all coming. But it's no secret that the most successful people are also the ones who work the hardest. So I'm going to leave you with that. Work hard, live the dream. Comment if you think this month has been luck, or if you think it's been success. Comment either way. It'll be interesting to hear what you think. But I'm going for $500 in October, $1,000 in November, and $2,500 December. Then I'm going to say, praise the Lord, Merry Christmas, Jesus fucking Christ. I'll see you later.